Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. Today I am playing along with Paw Your Way into Our Heart, as well as Baby Got Scraps, and a new hop of the Cut File Craze Hop, where we use up some of our either pre-cut cut files or we create new ones. So I'm actually using one that I purchased from Bella Boulevard, and this came in a larger package. But since I was working on such a small page for my dog Taylor, it worked out perfectly. We will get to the cut file here in a little bit. First of all, I've had this idea in my head for quite some time. There was a sketch several series ago for Chrissy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches that had a stamped title. And I remembered some pictures of my dog when my daughter was little, that she had used her hair ties, not the like rubber bandy ones, but like ones where it wouldn't hurt Taylor's ears, our dog. And she had put her ears up and made them look like they were ponytails. And so it made me think of the song Mickey, where from the 80s, where she's like, oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. And so I just switched out Mickey for Taylor. So now you're going to have that song in your head, and my apologies, but here you can see that I've got my title all stamped out here. I did use some of my new Distress Oxide inks in the mini ink pads, and I'm using some scraps from, I think this Black Paw paper was a Bella Boulevard, and I think the papers that I used to back my photos. So there is my cute little Taylor. She has her piggy tail ears, and I'm going to end up using two of these pictures on here, and just trimming them up to try and get everything to fit on this smaller sized layout here. That the pages are approximately 8 inches tall and not quite 6 inches wide. And as you saw when I stamped my title, that I did leave it on the full 8.5 by 11 size cardstock. And then after I had everything stamped, I trimmed around it to make sure I had an even or somewhat even amount of space at the top of the page and the bottom of the page. So I wouldn't have to worry about, as I stamped each line down, that it wouldn't get uneven or it wouldn't run out of room. So there, I've got my pictures trimmed down. I am using some older pink paisley chipboard letters to spell out Taylor, with the exception of the O. And this is where my cut file comes in, that this is a heart. And I'm using the same color as ink that I used to stamp her name on the left hand side of the layout. And I'm just using the lid to my ink pad to hold it down so I don't get the ink on my fingers here. And just use my fiber cloth, microfiber cloth, to clean that off of my glass board. And then I also use it to rub the ink off of my brush there. And so now, then I decided I needed something underneath the heart to try and add just a little bit of interest there. And so I do just a half pump on the Distress spritz, so it doesn't come out full power, but just kind of gives some sprinkles and splatters there. So just showing you how that looks there. And so that is going to give some interest behind the cut file. And instead of cutting into a second full sheet of white cardstock, I decided just to use the other side that was from the full 8.5 by 11 paper that I started out with, and I'm just going to make the rest of the width of the page with the scrap here, the black paw, and I actually made it bigger than I needed to, and then that way I could trim down exactly how much I needed there on the side. So now I'm just kind of placing those chipboard letters down. I know that I need to put liquid adhesive on to make sure that they stay, that these pages that I make for Taylor's album are all outside of the page protectors, that it was just a cute little binder that I got on clearance. Didn't have any pages in it, and so I've just been cutting my own size of background papers, and then just punch the holes to match the binder rings that go into it here. So I do need to make sure that those will stick on, and since they are older and since they are chipboard, I do want to make sure I get liquid glue on there. However, you will see that I start sticking things down and forget to add some additional and have to pull them back up and re-glue everything again. So just remember, I kind of did things out of order, but I made it work. So here you can see that I am working on getting my letters onto my stamping block so I can finish the lyrics of the song here. And so getting to the point where it's going to be, hey Taylor, hey Taylor. And so just getting that stamped again. And so for the Taylor, I'm going to make it match what's on the other side. And stamp it in the full color of purple. And then I will do the hey in the outline letters. And let's see, so just getting that stamped down. I'm going to add one more hay, and I wish I would have placed it up just a little bit further from where I had it, but obviously since it is stamped, it's there for good, so it'll just be the way it is, and it will be just fine. So there is that, and just getting that last comment in there, and so now my title is done with the exception of getting my heart on here. So we will work on getting that on. I don't use any dimensional adhesive behind it because it pretty much all touches almost all the way around except for that bottom point of the heart. Otherwise, everything else is stuck to one of the letters there. And here's where, well, I do start to glue down to each of the chipboard letters, and then this is where I realize I didn't add the liquid glue behind each of the individual letters. Oh, maybe not yet. I guess I decide to map my photos, pulled out another scrap from this Bella Boulevard, and it is just a turquoise dot, and really could have been used for anything, but it just coordinates with the other colors that I was wanting to use, and just brought another pop of color there. So getting those trimmed up here, and I will also use liquid adhesive to adhere those as well for the same reasons, just because it will be in an album without a pocket page, so want to make sure that it will stick for a good amount of years. So All right, getting those, and I think I debate on whether to tilt them or to put them on straight. I do end up putting them on straight, and get those glued on. And then here finally is where I remember that I need to glue down my chipboard letters. And so that one just comes off completely, and I have to basically, I end up essentially taking the heart off without taking it off, and just needing to re-glue it all the way around. So off again, on again, off again. So in the end, it all works out, and I think it turned out to be a pretty cute page. I am not typically one to use a lot of stamps on my scrapbook layouts, but I thought this was a fun way to incorporate some of my alphabet stamps that I have purchased recently. And maybe I will do a little more stamping for titles and things like that here coming up. So we will see. So I think now I've got glue on all my letters, just getting the heart glued back down. And let's see, what else do I know what's coming up next, that I do end up pulling out that, well, I decide that I want to put another bit of scrap on the left-hand side to kind of bookend each of the pages with the black paw print paper. The one on the right side has a little bit more than the left. And so here you're going to get a peek of what they look like, but they are just kind of just contains everything. And then the last little bit is that I take the same spritz and add some sprinkles all over. So here are the close-up shots. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. There is a playlist for each of the hops that I am playing along with listed down below, so go click on those, see what everybody else is creating today, and thank you for stopping by, and we will see you next time. Bye.